Good morning, this is Cecil and Blues. Thank you for joining me for this Final Fantasy XIV Live Letter recap. Live Letter 27 aired at 1:30 in the morning Pacific Time on January 30th, and you can watch the VOD on the Final Fantasy XIV Twitch channel, or you can find the official English summary thread on the Lodestone. I will put links in the video description below. First things first, patch 3.2 The Gears of Change will be released on February 23rd, which is 3 weeks from this Tuesday, making the lifespan of patch 3.1 a total of 14 weeks. Patch 3.2 brings new features, as well as pushing forward the endgame progression to the next tier. I will do my best to break down all the important parts that they covered in the letter. The first new feature on display was the Stone, Sky, and Sea, which is a solo instance challenge versus a training dummy. Multiple difficulties will be available, and different challenges exist for every job. There are no rewards associated with these challenges, and it is just for personal betterment, beginning, in something, improvement. How about improvement? It's all for self-improvement and feeling good about yourself. Alright, moving on, the next subject was balance changes. A big change is coming to tanking jobs. As of patch 3.2, Vitality will have a larger impact on your damage output, and Strength will have a lower impact. All tanking jobs should get the most benefit from straight Vitality accessories and materia, even if their goal is to increase their damage output, and not their survivability. Adjustments to specific jobs are also on their way, but they did not go into great detail. Paladin Oaths, Astrologian's Shuffle ability, Machinist DPS improvements, and adjustments to the Warden's Paeon for bards were mentioned in specific. This is all in testing still, so expect details in the patch notes at the end of February. The limit break gauge is also getting some adjustments. I hope that this means that it'll fill up more consistently, because Tier 3 limit breaks are fun, and I like seeing them in raids, and I almost never get to see them when I run Void Arc because the current gear levels result in boss deaths before the limit gauge charges up. Wow, I really lost the thread of that in my head. Alright, moving on. Next thing. The Nath Beast Tribe quests will be introduced in patch 3.2, and they will be very similar to the Vanu Vanu quests. They will have the level sync feature, and there will be increasing scaling XP rewards as you reach higher reputation tiers. For players interested in PvP, a new max-level team battle is being introduced. It is called The Feast. There are 4v4 and 8v4 battles, and you must have equal parts tank, healer, ranged, and melee party members. When a member is defeated, they will drop coins on the ground that must be collected by the opposing team. When one team reaches a certain point total, they will be declared the victor. Otherwise, when time runs out, whoever has the most points wins. If you're interested in PvP, I advise looking into The Feast for a new twist on PvP combat in Final Fantasy XIV. It's not really my focus, so I don't know all the details. But I'm going to move on to talking about the PvE content. A new primal fight will be added in patch 3.2, the first in the Warring Triad. It is Sephiroth the Fiend. There will be an extreme version of the fight introduced at the same time, and as is standard for extreme primals, a set of weapons will be available from this encounter. The next wing of Alexander, known as Alexander Midas, will be available in patch 3.2 as well. There will be both a normal and a savage mode, as with its predecessor, but both of these modes will be made available immediately on launch. The looting rules for Alexander Midas will be the same as what we saw in Alexander Gorditas. Patch 3.2 will also introduce 2 new dungeons, the Anti-Tower and the Lost City of Amdapor Hard. No details were provided in regard to the item level requirements or the item level rewards for any of this content, but the intro videos were sure pretty. The next subject is the changes to materia melding they warned us that were coming. As of patch 3.2, it will no longer be possible to overmeld primary stats through advanced materia melding. Additionally, certain non-crafted items will now have open materia slots. This is a big change, a huge change to how materia has worked in Final Fantasy XIV. So time is going to tell what kind of impact this will have on the market. Yoshi P did say adjustments would be made to the availability of Grade 4 and Grade 5 materia, so predicting the market swing could be a little bit difficult for you, I don't know, econ PvPers out there. The next thing they moved on to was a new housing decor. It is a jukebox, and you can collect music sheets for it and alter the music that plays inside your home. I was not entirely clear if this is a personal setting or not. They did say that everyone in the house is able to set the music, but I didn't really pick up whether or not it's only you who hears the music you select. So if you're in the house with the rest of your housemates and is it going to be like you're fighting over a radio station, or is it just going to be I want to listen to the music that plays when I fight a boss, and you want to listen to the music that plays out in Coerthus. Whatever it is, I guess we'll see. You will be able to gather different sheet musics through various different means. And I'm very familiar with this from World of Warcraft. If you played in Warlords of Draenor, they added this to your garrison, and it was the same way. You earned some sheet musics by running dungeons, you earned other ones through crafting, so I guess we'll just see what it is. It feels like a pretty minor feature, but it's also kind of cool. So I don't know why I spent so long talking about it. Moving on, a new social feature, which is pretty big, is being added in patch 3.2. It's the mentor system. This system allows experienced players to volunteer to help newer players by participating in chat channels and entering priority roulette queues. There are rewards for participating in this, but they're cosmetic in nature. In particular, you will not be earning bonus tomestones through the mentor roulette. There are requirements that a player must meet in order to become a mentor, and there are some restrictions in place to prevent RMTs from gaining a new avenue of advertisement. Let's move on to exploratory missions. They are receiving some adjustments. Time limits will be adjusted such that short missions, easy missions now only last 30 minutes, normal missions will last 45, and hard missions will last 60 minutes. You will have to wait 30 minutes before re-entering the diadem after you have finished a mission. Getting started will be easier because the number of Aether Currents has also been reduced, and it is dependent on difficulty. On easy, you will need to collect 1, you will need to collect 2 when you're running on normal, and you will have to collect 3 if you are starting a hard mission before you're able to fly in the area. Teams that spawn a boss through fresh tracks will earn the rights for first attack, so that group has a chance to get loot from it, since it was their efforts that spawned the boss, that prevents people from just camping the spawn locations waiting for other people to trigger them. And then there are some UI adjustments coming to help avoid mistakes that players were making when interacting with the Splendors vendor. Let's move on briefly to crafting. New recipes will be added, a huge amount, they said. They will be available for purchase with red scripts, and they will include high item level crafted equipment for people who are looking to get a jump start into raids, a dyeable high allergen equipment, so stuff that has the appearance of I think, turn 4 Bahamut from level 50 game. And then they'll also be adding other cosmetic equipment recipes and glamour equipment that's wearable by all classes. These recipes will apparently not be hard to craft, or require hard to acquire materials, but they will require purchasing a blueprint, and they didn't say exactly where those come from, but then they did. I was getting this information from multiple sources, so one source said that they were going to keep it secret where the blueprints came from, but then somewhere else said you'll be buying them with red scripts. and those will become available as of Thursday the 25th to correspond with the weekly reset for red scripts. I expect more details in the patch notes. As expected, a new tombstone will be added. It is the Allegan Tombstone of Lore. Allegan Tombstones of Soldiery will be removed from the game. Allegan Tombstones of Law will no longer be obtainable, and the weekly limit on Allegan Tombstones of Esoterics will be eliminated. Bleh. Tombstones of Law will be able to be converted directly into Esoterics. Poetics will remain and continue in their current function. I would not expect those to go away, maybe ever. Poetics will probably just be the tombstone that exists for all time for level 50 players. Moving on, some updates to the Duty Finder include the ability to begin gathering when the duty window appears, which you either are incredibly happy to hear or have no idea why anyone would want. But I'm thankful for it. I understand. Additionally, it's now possible to queue up as a party for many more roulettes. Leveling, trials, main scenario, and guild test now all allow for a partial or full party queue, which is great news. And then a collection of random changes that we can expect in patch 3.2 include a new spell cooldown appearance, which you can modify and either turn on or off in the settings, and that's on your hotbar. An expansion to the idling camera and group pose features that they didn't go into a ton of details on. A whole bunch of new housing decor, a new housing decor that allows you to summon the barber, and an ability to sell items directly from your retainer. Oh, and a teleport history tab as well. So lots of quality of life changes coming. The final segment of the broadcast focused on localization, and this was actually very interesting stuff, but it contained a fair amount of story spoilers, so I'm just not going to talk about it. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, then I suggest you go seek it out, but I am not going to talk about it, sorry. And that's everything that I can think of. Once again, the patch is expected on February 23rd, just over 3 weeks from now. I will have patch notes when they're available, but until then, I'm probably going to be playing far more Darkest Dungeon and XCOM 2 than I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Only so much time of the day, and I'm okay putting off my relic weapon until next month. So, until patch 3.2, I'll see you later. You can follow this channel if you want to be notified when other videos are uploaded. You can also follow me on Twitter @itsboats, and we'll catch you in February. Have a good one.